Growth strategy number one is creating interest. Somewhere down the line, you have to know a little bit about your client so you can speak their language, get their attention, and say something that's going to tell them that you actually are an industry leader in what you're doing. Everybody wants to work with somebody who's knowledgeable. We have a new phenomenon going on in our world right now with the internet. You Google everything. Have you noticed that? You know, when it comes to everything, like how to relax, Google. Right? You know, what about love life? What about movies? What about everything? Google has now taken over all of our books. We don't have books anymore, unless you're really into something ancient and foreign. You know, that's just something that we just don't do anymore. So the advantage here is that we've got all this information. The disadvantage is we don't know what truth is anymore. There's no way for us to calibrate that information. There's no clarification. So anybody literally can turn around, put information on the web, and you could end up on their page or their little blog, and you would get information, and it may not be 100% true. It may not be complete. And for that reason, what happens is we get ourselves going this way, and a little bit this way, and we seem to get this conflicting information. Your client's no different. And so now what we have is clients that are going, okay, back off. You know, everybody in their dog is doing exactly what you're doing. I don't know what the difference is anymore. So your job is to teach them in some way, shape, or form what it is you do differently so that they will get attention from you. Or, you know, so you'll return that attention back and forth. So number one, we talk about, you know, what is it the client knows about you? What is it you stand for? Where do you, you know, find your target market? And what kind of language do they use? If you're talking to somebody in construction, do you know that they got a different vocabulary than somebody who's a doctor? They have different euphemisms that they use, different slang, different language, and it's our job to understand my client. Okay? So for yourself, you might want to put a note down there. What kind of client language am I expecting? What kind of sayings do they use in the industry that I'm involved in? The more that you know your client's language, the more likely you're going to establish that they are like you when they're coming to your sites, when they're talking to you. Now outside of that, how many people here do networking? Ever been to a networking function, or you bumped into somebody, you were introduced to somebody? All of that kind of thing happens every day, right? You have to have 1 or 2 sentences that you can get somebody's attention, because you only have 3 seconds to get somebody's attention before they make a judgment about who you are, right? I walked in here today. How many people judge me? Come on, honestly. You took a look at my clothes. You look at the sign. Yeah, this guy. Who does he think he is? Right? You make up something based on past experience. And that might dictate whether you're like this or whether you're like, oh yeah, bring it on. What's this guy got to say? And so they're doing the same thing to you. Clients do that to us every single day. So you have to have something that says to them that you understand what they're thinking and that you understand what the solution looks like. So earlier in our conversations, I had a little conversation, right, in the back. Had a little conversation. Did I say anything that got your interest? Right? There was one sentence. Somebody said, oh, you said it in one sentence. That's what I'm talking about. Do you have the one sentence that will get your client and get their attention?